Your father sounds like a fucking character.
He was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What did he play?
Guitar.
Wow.
Great musician. Really, truly a great musician. He's the classic guy that should have made it, it didn't. So when I made it made the whole thing really weird.
Oh.
Because he looked at me and said, how did my schlubby kid make it? And I didn't.
Wow.
He must have gotten lucky. He must have done something. Because if it didn't work for me, how could it work for him? So that was a weird thing. But he was talented. I mean, he really was talented.
That's great. Did you feel resentment? Did you get along with him after that?
It was
weird?
My father had a lot of issues with drugs, so it was always kind of like it can be with addicts. It was like depending on the day. One day he would tell me I was the greatest thing that ever happened to him and I was the number one son and da-da-da. And 2 weeks later he's telling me he wished I'd never been born and I should have been aborted. So it was weird. It was a weird thing. So that's why that story's funny to me, because he didn't mind that I told you about finding a sawed-off shotgun. He minded that I implied it was dangerous when he made sure that it wasn't loaded, so it was okay. That's the way his brain worked.
Do you believe him that it wasn't loaded?
Yeah. He was he should have been an arch criminal or something, but he didn't have the nerve.
So he just became a guitarist.
No, he was a drug dealer, and he used to run drugs and guns for the mob. I mean,
really?
Oh, he would do stuff like Melrose Park is kind of an infamous city just outside the Chicago city limits, where a lot of the mob wise guys lived, and he was friends with the kid of a wise guy, and the kid would dabble because he was protected because his father was a made man. So we go over to that guy's house for hours and just hear these crazy stories about the mob, and my dad would pick up something in a satchel and deliver it. You know, like it was. I was 8 years old going through all this shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a crazy environment.
Yeah.
So you're 8 years old. He's running drugs and guns.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see like a lot of shit?
I saw a lot of stuff, but it was like, you know, when adults are trying to hide stuff from you, but not really.
Uh-huh.
You know, so like, for example, they would stay in the basement all night and party, whoever he was with, musicians, whatever.
Right.
So I'd come down at night and there'd be coke everywhere and rolled up 20s on Black Sabbath mirrors. I was like 7, 10.
Oh my God.
So I had a feeling, call it intuition, I had a feeling that he wanted me to clean up, but not the mirrors. And I was like, what's on the mirror that, you know, that you left behind? He was like, oh, that's have a cold or something. But yeah, it's good you didn't get rid of it. And they're like, why do you need the rolled up 20? Oh, it's just easier to, you know. It was like, so you knew it was bullshit, but you're 10. You don't know what coke is.
Right.
So you don't have any concept of what they're doing, but you know something's going on.
And this was constant. This was
yeah.
normal.
And my dad would do stuff like he'd take me to lunch with his mistresses and stuff and introduce them as his friends. And
wow.
so it was all kind of in plain sight weirdness. But, you know, you'd be driving down the street and suddenly you were in a drug deal and it was just...
Whoa.
He told me he was shot at 9 times and stabbed 3 times.
Holy shit.
Yeah. You want to hear? It was one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
So the band had a van. He had a van and we bought it off him. It was our band van for a while. And then after we didn't need it anymore because we got too big, he wanted to buy it back. So we sold it to him. So one day I went over to his house and if this is the driver's thing, well, right behind the driver's, where the driver's head would be, but in the metal of the car was a bullet hole. So I said, did somebody shoot at you? He goes, oh, yeah. I said, well, what happened? Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, I was stopped over there on Narragansett, and some guy came up, and I thought he needed something like $1 or something. So I rolled down the window. As soon as I did, he put a gun through the window at my head. And then, I hit the gas and sped off. And so as I went, he tried to shoot me, but then he missed, and the bullet went in behind my head, and I got away. That's the story he told me at the time. So years later, the story came back up somehow. And he goes, oh, that wasn't the real story. Here's the real story. So same setup. He's sitting somewhere, but it was a drug deal. He rolls down the window to make the drug deal. Guy puts a gun at his head. He does hit the gas. The guy does try to shoot him. But because my father's mad now, he spins the van around and he tries to run the guy over. And the guy's trucking down the street. And the guy ran into a gas station. So my dad came barreling into the gas station at full speed in this van, and he was going to run the guy over. And he said he reached a point where the guy was going to if the guy stopped, he would run him over, but the guy leapt a fence, and the only way to kill the guy was to have to run the fence and ram into a house that was next to the gas station. So he hit the brakes and didn't run the guy over. So that was the real story. So back to the kid thing, excuse me, that's why it's so hard to pin this whole thing down, because there's so much smoke, you know?
Right.
Like, he did tell me there was another kid named Bill. That's a real thing. And when he told me when I was 18, he lied and said he didn't know where the kid was. Well, when my stepmother brought up the whole Bill Burr thing later, and I asked him, he admitted that he did know where the kid was, but he didn't want to tell me.
What did Bill think about this? Like the possibility that his mother had an affair with your dad?
I don't think Bill gives it any credence. I mean, that's my sense of it.
Okay.